Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the In-Depth series. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. The report with respect to the climate, there are so many. But today we are going to cover a very important report, which is the state of global climate in 2022. This has been recently released by World Meteorological Organization, and it has found many important as well as worrisome trends with respect to our climate. The world sea level is rising at an unprecedented rate, never seen before rate. It is portending potentially disastrous consequences for weather, agriculture, social fabric, extant groundwater crises. There is a consistent rise in global temperatures. The rising sea level can be attributed and should be attributed to this only. There is a record-breaking increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases as well as glacial loss. Sustained drought like conditions in East Africa is also there. Record rainfall in Pakistan, unprecedented heat waves that struck Europe and China in 2022. These all have been found out according to this report. These are the worrisome trends. Droughts, floods and heat waves affected communities on every continent and cost billions of dollars, especially the marginalized. Antarctic sea ice fell to its lowest extent on record. The melting of some European glaciers was also off the charts. Moving on. How much is the sea rising? Let's talk about that. See, the rate of global mean sea level rise has doubled between the first decade of the satellite record and the last. Now, since the 1990s, the scientists have been measuring sea level rise using satellite altimeters. Altimeters are instruments that send radar pulses to the sea surface, measure the time they take to go back and change their intensity. So this is the sea and this is the level, supposedly. Now from this level, it might have increased to this level. How is it possible? When altimeters used to go to this level, the earlier level of the sea, the time that is taken by the pulses to reach back would be longer. But now, when they are striking these pulses are striking the sea level, the pulses are not taking a lot of time to reach back. That means, of course, the sea level has risen. The higher the sea level, the faster and stronger the signals return. GSML has also been collected by researchers by collecting this data from different points on Earth and calculating the average. GSML is how fast or slow the sea level is changing. To calculate GSML, the difference in the GSML across a few years are taken, usually a decade, and then divide the difference by the number of years. And this provides an estimate of the rate of sea level changes. According to World Meteorological Organization report, the sea level has been rising in 3 decades, for which satellite altimeter data is available from 1993 to 2022. Also, while the rate of sea level rise was 2.27 mm per year in 1993 to 2002, it shot up to 4.62 mm per year from 2013 to 2022. This report points to the following factors which are responsible for rising GSML. First is ocean warming that expands the ocean, ice loss from glacier and ice sheets, and changes in land water storage as well. It also quantifies the individual contribution to these factors and that the researchers call the GSML budget. Okay. From 2005 to 2019, there has been a loss of glacier and ice sheet. It contributed to 36% of the GSML rise. Ocean warming, the phenomenon of rising mean ocean temperature, contributed 55%, and changes in the storage of land water contributed less than 10%. Not very significant, but still significant enough. As increasing concentration of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases drive global warming, 90% of the extra heat is stored in the ocean, greenhouse sequestration, and this leads to ocean warming. And as the oceans heat up, it undergoes thermal expansion, which in turn leads to a rise in the GSML. One measure of ocean warming is the ocean heat content. And per the report, OHC measured in 2022 touched the new record. Not very nice. Earth's ice cover is known as Cryosphere. It has thinned down. It includes the Arctic and Antarctic regions, glaciers, ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica, seasonal snow cover, and permafrost as well. Permafrost is the mass of the land that remains below 0 degrees Celsius for at least 2 straight years. This is the prelim fact. Now, what do the report's findings mean? This is worrisome in a nutshell. They have used more or less the best possible data, then only they have come up with this report. That means it is accurate. The findings of the report are consistent with observation which is made by other studies as well. Given the GSML is expected to continue rising the accelerating pace, it is of course expected to rise, but the pace at which this is being done, or this is observed to be done, this is very worrisome. Moving on. Now, what are the problems that will be there because of the sea level rise? First is, the accelerated pace will cause changes in land cover. India specifically will have to deal with a lot of migration. This is actually what will be the land and what will be in the sea. The coastal regions will be under the sea. The people who are belonging to that region will of course migrate from one place to another. That will bring a lot of xenophobia. Xenophobia is you can say a fear of people coming out from outside, to your home or to your area from outside. This will also increase. Rising sea will swallow more of the land cover in coastal areas, and coastal communities will become climate refugees. This land crunch will mean that those who are better off will be able to cope better than the marginalized group, because their economic activities is also dependent on the coastal area. This will lead to increase in social disparity between people living in coastal areas and people which are living on land in the interior areas. Second, weather formations like cyclones are known to tropically originate in the open seas. And as the GSML is rising, along with the rise in ocean temperature, the chances of cyclones getting more frequent will also increase. It will affect the coastal communities and lead to large economic liabilities for tropical countries like India and South Africa, where the population density in the coastal areas is high. The WMO report also says that South Africa was affected by 5 cyclones in over 2 months in 2022. It led to the displacement of hundreds and thousands of people. Third point is that the GSML continues to rise, more seawater could seep into the ground, leading to groundwater, which is usually fresh water. It will turn more and more saline. That means it will also impact the quality of water that we drink. This in turn can exacerbate water crises in coastal and adjacent areas. And finally, coastal ecosystem could be completely changed. For example, in the Sundarbans Delta in West Bengal, the rising sea levels and coastal erosion due to it is also attributed to the loss of land and sediments from coastal areas. It has led more islands which are submerged underwater. Since the lives of coastal communities is tied intricately with the ecosystem of coastal area, changes in the coastal ecosystem will be a result of GSML rise, especially when it is happening faster than rehabilitation process and policy process. We are not able to catch up. And indeed, a combination of these factors have already increased child trafficking in the Sundarbans, and it has been documented. So we hope that policymakers have all these things in mind. I hope you understood this topic. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.